Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Abby Hagyard. She said, looking away from the camera. Sorry about that. I'm Abby Hagyard, and this is my little office. This is my tiny corner of the world. That's Mom over there, and that is the largest printer we have seen since the Mastodon age. Can you imagine Mastodons using printers? Anyway, it's sitting over there because it's supposed to be over here. And the reason it's over there is because there's already one here that is holding on for dear life. But these things will change. Before we get started, cheers. I think I might do this twice. You know, it was a random moment. They usually are. When I suddenly realized that, oh look, I have hot chocolate and this is coffee. I wonder what happens when I introduce them to each other, and then the rest has been history. It's really quite wonderful. So to begin in a very CEO kind of way, one of the things that I think we forget to give ourselves a bit of a it's okay every now and then is that the CEO part of us is a hat we wear. It's a decision we made. It's a career path that we're on. It's a passion. It's a purpose. It's a drive. It's a focus. It is all of those things. However, it is not the essential internal us. The essential internal us is driving the bus. And so sometimes when I start my videos, I'm already halfway into an idea and I just sort of leap at you because I've got that whole entrepreneur momentum going on. But other times, life is what happens when we're busy making plans. And the last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with a bit of a voice thing related to a cold thing. And of course, Billy, it's driving him crazy because he has a voice thing he needs me to do. And so 'twas ever thus. Also editing books, also coaching an amazing talent. Well, good morning, Miss Maggie. Speaking of amazing talent. And so there's so much going on that it's easy to kind of get frazzled. It's really easy to get, good morning, Eddie. How good to see you. It's easy when we're frazzled to lose our focus and to allow ourselves to have those knee-jerk, anxious reactions to what's going on out there. And of course, we're going to react to what's going on out there. After all, it's all around us. First, though, we react, we respond, we recalibrate based on what we are feeling, what we believe that we are seeing and hearing. We start from in here. And so much of the time we forget to do that. So we rush around madly trying to catch up. and a lot of that anxiety causes us to do a couple of things. One is the frantic attempt to multitask, and the other is a sudden kind of a self-defense decision to procrastinate, to put it off, because there's just too many to decide between and we can't. And so, you know what? I'll do this first. And then maybe it will decide for itself by the time I get there. This, of course, is yet another one of those proofs that denial is not just a river in Egypt. Cheers. And with everything going on around us, above us and below us and whatnot, and the work that Maggie and I are doing, and the work that Susan and I are doing. Susan, of course, is my other fabulous, brilliant, beautiful client. We are creating pathways through the panic. We are creating concepts that reconnect us the way human beings were born to do, the way we are meant to do, which is on a personal level, human to human. We are not the strongest creature on the planet. Our strength comes in our togetherness, in our lion effect, in working together with our pride, with our tribe, in bringing us together. Our tribe inside the cave, we have our strengths and our weaknesses, and they protect and override and look after us. This is our strength. The other external stuff we do, the gotta do, the gotta be, the gotta go, that is the knee-jerk response at the most primitive, basic survival level. That is the function of the brain that keeps us alive and has kept us alive since the days that we climbed out of the ooze. And it's essential that we have that in working order. But we have multiple places in our brains, and when they collaborate, connect, and consider, what we end up with is bigger, wider, farther, more lasting, more essential, more beautiful, more harmonized than any one thing that a survival brain can do. And the fact that we start looking at the headlines, and then because we click on something, what we clicked on, the thing mirrors and sends more to us. It's just the way we operate, and we created the technology. So we created the technology to do what we do. That's the point. All of this originated with us. It gets out of hand when we start spinning and we're looking at and then we can do this, and then we can do this, and then we can do this. And we forget to hit pause and just check in with the good folks at the Department of the Unintended Outcome, where, if we do this and this, we could get that. No, we didn't want that. And so much of the time when we're running screaming, we don't believe, we don't feel, we're not able to slow ourselves down. I tell you, when you're running, let's say you're late for the bus or something, you're running and you're breathing like this. You know what you can't do while you're running, while you're anxious? You can't say, I'm just going to take a couple of slow, deep breaths here. Your cave survival brain, first of all, doesn't understand language. It's not listening. It doesn't care what you think you're going to do. It's on a mission. Go, 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 go. And so all this work that I've been working on for 7 years, all of it is designed to get us where we are within easy reach of the "we got this" button. We, all the parts of our brains, all of the collective intelligence and strength and innovation and insights of our tribes. We got this. And the more I work on it, the more so there's 7 books, and we're now, as we've got 1, 2, 3. So we're in book 4. And the books collectively, they're not long books. They're workbooks, right? It's a curriculum. It's a learning curriculum. And so what you're given in bite-sized chunks is, this is how this works and why you care. And now this is what this works and why you care. And it's a gradual building of seeing how we got off track and where and how to get back. Because within us, there is a leader. There is a leader deciding what to do next. And whether we then carry that over to the job we perform for other people or the business we decide to start, there is always and forever a leader part of us saying, this is what we do next. If we don't understand what we have to work with, we're making it harder on ourselves. We're making it more difficult. So the topic today that I thought would be fun to go into is this business of chaos. Chaos, wasn't that it was a TV series, right? The secret agent, And wasn't the evil other side chaos, or was that James Bond? Somebody, Eddie will tell me. Or Freddie will tell me when he weighs in. Chaos is when everything is all swirling all at once, all in multiple directions simultaneously. In fact, Maggie sent me a headline today. Get smart. Thank you, Eddie. See? I have my very, very own uniquely crafted Google here. I have the lion effect, so much better. So Maggie sent me a headline. And all that she said was, oh boy. I looked at it and I thought, oh dear. I clicked on it. And she was right. So frantic swirl, chaos, chaos, chaos. Now here's the thing. It doesn't work. I'm telling you that right now. You know, art imitates life. And I was in the theater for a long time until I realized that there's no money in it. You might as well do it in television or film. Oh, here's the thing. If you walk on stage screaming and you stand there screaming and then you walk off screaming, the audience will say, well, that was loud. Not much of a character arc there. Didn't really grasp the plot or the subplots, if any. Let's go have something to eat. And by the way, that'll be a short run of a show because you're going to have no throat left in 3, 2, 1. If you similarly walk on laughing, hysterical, sobbing brokenly, and that's all you do, there's nothing to see here, folks. It's just unrelenting. Zzz. And after a very few minutes, it's deadly boring. Did you ever hear the story? There's a very, very famous piece of music called Ravel's Bolero. Ravel was a composer, and he had composed something magnificent for some prince or king or emperor or something. And they didn't like it. And the critique he got back was it was too busy. Do something simpler. So Ravel said, fine then, because I'm good with the constructive criticism. And he went away and he pulled out all the interesting stuff. And he created this song, da, 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 da. And it's just nothing but a long and a slow and a moving repetition of several notes. And gradually it would rise in volume and it would go up in cadence and it would come down. But all it was like this very slow ebb and flow. Now it became world famous because it was so unlike the others. But that wasn't why he did it. He did it because someone said, too much going on. And he said, I'll show you not too much going on. And so he went all the way to the other side. And if you've wanted to understand what chaos looks like, all you have to do is look at some of the beautiful original symphonies that were so complex and so busy and so overwhelmingly stunning in their complexity. But that particular person who had critiqued it and said no had clearly had it up to here, and he didn't want to listen to more of it. He didn't need any more people running on stage and screaming and standing there screaming and leaving screaming. He just, please, dear God in heaven, give me something that allows me to go, ah. And we all get there. Gary and I talk about this all the time because he's got a backward sleep schedule in his own internal clock. And when he tries really hard to sleep in a different cycle, all he does is exhaust himself because his body knows what it wants. And so you're fighting against something that's going to win. It's going to win. Why are you doing this? And then he's he says, all right, you're right. You're right. What was I thinking? And all of these situations, the things that happen to me, thing that happens to Maggie, to Eddie, to Gary, all of to Charles and Kat, all of the people that I know and love who are involved in this beautiful tribe that we are growing. We are the poster children for Pivotry in motion. We are the building blocks, the scaffolding of this learning curve concept to give us that, oh, that's right, moment of recognition that we've been trying too hard to do and to be what we're not supposed to be. And in the process of trying harder to make a thing fit, we forget. Good morning, Miss Kelly. We forget that life is about the simple win. Physics is simple. There are no straight lines. There are beautiful arcs of energy, and they ebb and they flow because that's the way it works. And when we resolutely say, no, it's going to be this way, and it's going to have sharp corners, and it's going to be this color, and it's going to do that, and the universe just pats us on the head and says, you do what you got to do, honey. And then it goes along and does what it does. If we anxious ourselves into a state of incapacity, the universe says, well, if that's what you want, and it gives us more of it. Because energy mirrors, energy connects and redirects. And until we grasp that, we're spinning like crazy fools. So the title of today's video, and by the way, don't you just absolutely, if you've been on Facebook, if you pop over to Facebook, to my Facebook page, Billy has created a visual for the ABCASTs, and it's fabulous. And what I'm so thanks to the restream function, you are watching me on any number of platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. It's your pick, it's your call, and and you're seeing all of this. It's just that on a couple of them there's an interactive, and I can see your comments and I can respond. So what we're doing here, and by the way, this is, do I know which one this is today? This is, oh my goodness, this is ABCAST 440. 450 is just around the corner. What we are doing with these ABCASTs is we are creating bite-sized conversations that tap into the concept, the philosophy, the tools, the strategies, the aha moments that are the foundation of this path on my career. Pivotry in motion and the live shows that I'm doing with them when we get started are this interesting mix, right? Because here I am doing these videos, and you used to see me on television and on film. And when we start doing the training, we're going to be talking back and forth in real time. And then when we do the live events, when we do the speaking, we do the retreats, and we get started on the workshops, we're going to be introducing the live Abby show concept. Because all of my shows, all of my performances throughout my whole career, in fact, all the books too, these are all examples, these are all illustrations of our pivotry ability in time, in real time, in motion. So a pivot is a reaction that all creatures make in response to something. It's sudden and it's large, and we respond in an equally sudden and sharp move, a pivot. We're going this way, we go that way, and it's sudden, fast, Why? Because it came at us fast. Pivotry is the decision we make from our own trigger, not an external trigger. Our own decision, the three different parts of our brain that we work most actively with all the time, they come together. So the subconscious is the ancient brain, and that's the one that keeps us breathing and alive. And then there's the conscious brain that knows what we're doing. It thinks about things. But this one and this one, they don't talk to each other. They don't even know each other exists. Along comes this one, the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of us, develops in our late teens. It understands cause and effect. It knows that if you eat 6 more Twinkies, you're not going to get into those genes. I can tell you right now, sure, the Twinkies look great, but the genes are going to look ridiculous if you keep eating the Twinkies. And so that brain, this frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex, it connects the thinking and the emotional brain. So it's kind of like a go-between, a middleman. When all three brains are working together, even though this one works faster than the other two combined, when all three are in harmony, what we get is an internally driven, an internally triggered, an internally motivated decision to shift out of the path, from that concept, from that idea, from that priority, and choose something else. Some part of our brain has said for a long time, it's not that bad, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. And then some part of our brain, all three of them together, have said, you know what? It is that bad. And that means it's not good enough. Check, please. And we shift. That's pivotry. And the reason I call it pivotry in motion is that when we make that decision, we don't stand around and think about it and talk about it and decide whether we need cushions and curtains to go along. We make that shift in the moment, in real time. It is pivotry in motion. So when something happens and we say, I can't stand it, enough is enough. When we reach that, what is it called? The straw that breaks the camel's back? One ant with 1 grain of wheat too many, and the barn is full. When we hit that moment, when all three of our brains combine, we're done. We have left the building. We are on the other path. It is so clean. It is so simple. It is so clear when we do that. There's no extraneous, oh my God, what am I? We're done. All of that was before. Where we are now is clarity, purpose, conviction, and momentum. That is the definition of the simple win. So when I come up with a simple win, I have been through the mushroom cloud. I've found my way out to the other side. And when I have reached the other side, I have said, all right, here's the thing. Here's what we're not doing. And it happens to us, and you've been there. I know it. Have an amazing day, you too, Kelly. You have been there. We have all been there. I have wakened up in the morning or the middle of the night, alert. I was asleep and now I'm not. And I'm not asleep anymore because all three brains have said, hey, got a minute? Apparently. And the decision has been made. Those three got together without me. Don't wake her. She'll know soon enough. This will give us time to do the dishes. And so This is what we do. This is who we are. It takes us getting all the way down into the stupid in terms of how too many things are we juggling here? Exactly how many flaming chainsaws is too many? The answer is one. But we have convinced ourselves, no, it's good. No, it's going to be fine. No, really. No, I got this. I got this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Shh. And we all do it. And we look around us and everybody's doing it. Why? Because it hasn't occurred to us that we are chasing. Why? Because we're too busy actually chasing to be paying attention to the fact that we're chasing, correct? So here's what I want to alert you to. Are you, does it feel like this? Are you kind of, no, I got it. No, are you doing that? Okay. There's your red flags. When you're in the middle of something while you're doing another something and somebody puts their head in and says, got a minute, and you say yes, that's another red flag. If you were already doing two things, yes was the wrong answer. The answer is no. Do I look like I have a minute? Go away. I'll come and find you. Why? Because the more frantic we get, the more distracted we become, the more forgetful we are. And by forgetful, I mean, who is policing our boundaries? Who is maintaining our standards? Which part of us is saying, halt, who goes there? Nope, not happening. We're chasing. We're off there. And that means that anybody can break in and paw through the silver and the spare diamonds rolling around and make their chillaxins, right? Anybody can blindside us if we are complicit, if we allow it. So one of the most fundamental things about Pivotry in motion, one of the most fundamental things about, so we went for 12 sources of insights and ideas. We are alarmed by this increasingly frantic, got to do more to be more school of scarcity training. It doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because it goes against the laws of physics. If you chase, you don't attract, you repel. Try chasing a dog that got off its leash. I'll wait. It doesn't work. We are sending out anxious energy, frantic energy, scared energy, loser energy, and every other entity around us says, no, that could be contagious, not doing that. And it keeps ahead of us. Why are people using that training model? All they could do is look up scarcity model to see how ineffective it is. Why aren't they doing that? Well, I can't say I know why they're doing it. I can, however, suggest that if they are doing it, it's likely that you're going to need to go back again and again and again, because the minute you leave the high energy, high kick cheerleader event, the frantic energy begins to ebb. Why does it begin to ebb? Because frantic isn't our natural state. This gotta do, gotta be, gotta reach for the high energy is bogus. We are high energy. If you look up what our energy frequency is, it's the same as the Earth. We're in sync. We don't raise our vibration and lower our vibration. We are. What happens is we attach ourselves to, we allow ourselves to be influenced by toxic, complicated, frantic swirl. We don't lose our vibration. We get pulled down, we get exhausted, we get drained by this thing we allow too close to us. The analogy of a helium-filled balloon, you fill a balloon with helium, don't breathe it because then you'll talk like this. So breathe it, tie the balloon, tie it to a ribbon, and stand there. Or take the other end of the ribbon and tie it to something heavy. And now the something heavy will keep the balloon anchored low. So if toxic is heavy, and it is, and chaos is heavy, it is, then that's the weight we've attached our balloon to. Get some scissors and snip the ribbon. Boop, problem solved. We don't have to frantically raise our energy and be worthy. No, we are worthy. We arrived worthy, and then we got distracted. What, is that a squirrel? So the simple win is always in the midst of chaos. Always. It's the eye of the hurricane. You know, ow, 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 ow. Good heavens, where the, oh. Breathe, calm moment, ta-da, simple win, right there, right in front of you. And you say, well, there. And then you put it into motion. You take action to get yourself out of the rest of the chaos. How do we do that? It's all very well and fine, like a lot of these scarcity trainers who say, you got to do this, just do this. And we sit there saying, I paid a whole lot of money and I got the book. And the thing is, I know that I need to do it. I'm looking for the how. Where's the how? Which end of this thing do I hold? And what do I do with that? So this is the how. 5 questions. If you have a weapon of mass construction, you can write them down. Question 1, what does it do? Question 2, who does it serve? Question 3, what does it change? Question 4, why do we care? Question 5, what's in it for us? That tells you what it is exactly that you need to do. How we create it is simple, step by step. I am here. I need to put a nail in a wall. All right, what do I need? I need a hammer and a nail and a wall. Let's go get them. It's that simple. Who does it serve? All right. If it serves somebody who's 6 feet tall, I don't want to put the nail in the wall 4 feet up from the floor. What does it change? Instead of the pictures leaning up against the couch and the table, they will now be decorations to look at every day and say, I love that painting. Why do they care? Because it's our home and we want it beautiful. Why do we want it beautiful? Because we live there. You see, every step has inside it the instruction, as long as we take the time to follow the steps and think and pay attention. And when we are overwhelmed and we are tired and we are confused and we are anxious, we are back to our primitive cave brain that cannot do this abstract thinking. that will not have the capacity to understand cause and effect beyond run faster, the lion is right behind us. And therefore, we have to get to a calm state. If this confuses you, if you are overwhelmed, remember the later folder is a huge help. The later folder allows you to get rid of a lot of the things that get in our way. And if you've forgotten what they look like, you just get yourself a little folder about that size. Why this size? Because it's the same size as your cell phone, and you can't get away with saying, I have nowhere to put it. And inside it, you look at my card and say, oh, look, there's Abby. You write down what it is that upset you, just what it is. And then you draw a line underneath it. Why? Because you've taken it out of your head and out of your heart and you've put it on the page. You don't have to carry it with you all day in here, confusing you. And you don't have to worry that you're going to forget it because you have put it in the later folder. And if you don't think this works, you have a little chat with Maggie and Eddie and Rhea and so many others who have decided to adopt, adapt, and apply the process. And if you need more help, you know where to find me. So with all of that said today, I want to suggest that we take a breath. Every deadline we impose is self-imposed. Can we shift it? Yes. Does it help to keep putting it off? No. But remember, we are in charge. We are driving the bus. If it's not working for us, we can say later. I promise you, it works. If it works for us, our internal us, you're going to be blown away when you realize how it works for the CEO part of us. Thank you for watching. You are making this possible. Together, we are building something incredible. So you remember the drill, right? Be good to you. You deserve it. Take the deep breath. Let it out. And remember to hug your loved ones because they deserve it too. I mean, look who they put up with.